think you guys will enjoy it. We have some updates for you. We're going to have a featured teacher and some new tools for you guys to use. Let's go over the Wix first. So this is the Wix page that we created. It looks a little different now. For one, we put the Google Classroom right on the main page here. So if you click on that, it will take you right there, and we'll get into that more in a second. We also have a schedule posted for you guys. It's some of the dates of our webinars that are going to be coming up. So you can see here, today is the 24th. That's webinar number 1. January 12th is going to be the second webinar. Webinar 3 will be March the 16th. And poster sessions, it says March 20th. That is hopefully where you guys, that's actually during the last L-Chair meeting, and that's where you guys will be able to present any projects that you did this year. We kind of see it maybe in the cafeteria at SPA, and you guys will have maybe some kind of poster or trifold or something with some of your work on display, and all the attendees of the meeting are just going to kind of walk around. They might stop at your display, maybe ask you questions, things like that. So it'll be fun. It's a good way to celebrate you guys and all of your hard work this year. And then we might have an end of year debrief, kind of what to do before summertime. One thing we wanted to point out is that we are going to have help desk days during the year. So if you guys are having any problems, you have any questions, we can't always all come out to your school. So we're going to set aside days where we have office hours, and you guys can either come visit us, or you can call us, or we might even set up a webinar like this where you can just log on, ask us a question. Hopefully we can answer it for you, and then you can get off. You don't have to stay on the whole time. It's just a way for you guys to get in touch with us if something's holding you up. We still have the iPad support here, so if you're having problems, you can click on iPad help. We do check this once in a while. It's just a good way if you don't want to get your email clogged up, or if your email's full, you can reach us this way. Or you can just reach out to us by email, or you can call our office phones. If I go into the Google Classroom here, okay, we've had some new things. We have Christina Mahar. She's been doing awesome work already with her iPads. So she's gonna be our featured teacher. We're excited to have her on here. So we put some of her work on here. We'll get to that later. I want to just pull up the agenda for today. Okay, I'm kind of doing this introduction updates right now. The good stuff will start next with our featured app. It's called ThingLink. Kristen Baker is doing an awesome job with the Wix, and she created this new component called the Everything series. And she's going to talk more about this, so I don't want to spend too much time here, but basically she's going to show you everything there is to know pretty much about ThingLink, and we'll have these Everything series throughout the year, so you can learn about different apps, pretty much everything you need to know about them. After she tells you about that, we're going to go into the featured teacher. We're gonna interview Christina Mahar. We'll show you some of the projects that she's doing, some of the things she did initially to get started with the iPads, maybe some of her goals throughout the year, and how she's helping change the culture at her school. She's doing great work, and we're glad that she's gonna help us out on today's webinar. The next thing is the SAMR model. Kristen's going to go into that a little bit, and basically that is just a way to integrate technology into your classroom. There's different levels, so we want you just to be aware of those levels. We did give you kind of a homework assignment already where you had to watch some videos describing this, but we're going to go into it a little bit more detail today, and hopefully it will help you when you're thinking about projects and what kind of activities you want to do with your students. And then finally at the end, we're going to have some time for if you guys want to share any project ideas and ask questions. We want to be here for you. So we're scheduled to go to 6:30, but that's kind of I'm sorry, 6 o'clock. Didn't mean to scare you guys. But that's kind of up to you. So we'll see how much time we need. But we want you guys to share out and tell us what goals and plans you have for the school year with your students. Okay, I'm going to switch over now to Kristen, and she is going to talk about the Everything series.
Okay, everybody, this is called the Everything series, and I'm really excited about it. It's kind of a big interest and passion of mine is to do curation of ideas, and I know a lot of teachers do that because teachers don't have time always to reinvent the wheel, and we shouldn't because we need to be smart about how we use our time. So we teach that to our students. So I'm going to try to share some things with you that will help you save time in your classroom as you try to learn about new apps and work with those apps with your students to create interesting dynamic projects. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Wix. If you're on the Wix, there's a new tab at the top called Everything Series. So if you click on that, and then you can scroll down, and you'll see link. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on that, and it will open it up for us. So basically, the idea behind the Everything series is it's going to be a one-stop shop, a one-page format where hopefully you'll be able to learn at your fingertips almost everything there is to know about a certain app. And the app that we chose for this session is Everything About ThingLink. So I'm just going to kind of navigate through the page, and we'll go ahead and start this little blurb about ThingLink. So I'm not sure how many of you have used ThingLink before, but I bet you've probably seen it. ThingLink has been around for a while. I haven't really used it, so I've been having fun playing with it and making images come to life with text and web links. If you have a premium account, which I don't because I do everything free, and I like to do everything free for you so you don't have to worry about, oh, she uses premium, I don't have that. Well, I never do premium, so I'm in the free boat. So with premium, you can upload video and music, and you can customize your pins, and there are all kinds of ways to customize it. But I think the free account is wonderful. So I'm just going to give you a little taste of what it looks like with this thing link I made out of Christina's picture. When I went and visited her class, I took some fabulous pictures of her. She's a perfect model, and her smile is so cute. So I wanted to share that with you all. So as I scroll over my image, you'll see the little blue round circles with stars pop up. And that is a thing link. The little circles or buttons or icons, they have a technical name. They're called nubbins. Nubbins. Anyway, there's your academic lingo for thing link today. So as you scroll over, you can see you can have a web link. So if you want to see what Christina's directions are for her interactive bulletin board, then you can click on the link. And no, I don't want to do that. It should take me right to my site where I have her directions, and her directions will be available to all of you. So if you want to replicate what she's been doing, you'll be able to do that. All I'm going to show you is a larger, clearer version of this square sheet of directions. So it is there, and I'll let you have fun playing with ThingLink later to check that out. But you can add text. This is her 21st century bulletin board that she made using the Erasmus app. And we're going to introduce Christina to you in just a little bit. So this is just an example of a ThingLink. Very simple. And the idea is not to overwhelm it really with lots of little buttons, but you can be as big as you want to be. Okay, so please scroll down a little bit. Try to organize the information for you in basically three different main areas. We have some ThingLink tutorials, and we have two videos here. use ThingLink, and this is like almost 2 minutes of fun. And then this one is 5 minutes of fun, learning to use ThingLink. So we might watch one of those in a second or two if we have time. Then I also have some teacher project ideas. And teacher project ideas, I have something on SAMR, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, so I'll save that one. But that is a SAMR ThingLink that we're going to go over. And then also, here's teacher project ideas. So I'm going to open that up. And this one was using BlendSpace. And BlendSpace is another web tool that you can use to make customized lessons for your students. In this case, I'm using it as a presentation tool. And so I'm going to give you an idea. Here is an example of a ThingLink that was made using a class picture, which all of you probably do with your students if you're in elementary school. I wish I had those for high school. I don't think they'd look so cute and smiley though, but I think that would be fun. Notice as I go over the little buttons, or nubbins, the projects that the students made during the year have been archived onto this ThingLink. It's really fun. There's flip snacks, there's movies, there's things they've written, all kinds of fun things. And the teachers have even put in samples of videos that have been made with iMovie, trailers and things. So anyway, I think that this is kind of a neat idea. You might want to use this for, you can do it quarterly if you want with projects your students are doing. I gave you some instructions over here on the BlendSpace for some ideas. You can add text to the BlendSpace. So maybe you want to use it to have students critique each other's work. So let's say you have the picture with the little icons on it, and the students who are critiquing can have a different colored icon. And so that's another thing that you might even want to share with parents to show what the students are doing. So I think this has a lot of good ideas for teachers. I think it'd be fun for us to use your fun picture that we took at our launch with your project. So that might be something I want to do. There's another BlendSpace for student project ideas. Let me give you an example. This one is a project for U.S. regions, and they've taken a student for putting in links to videos. So this might be something that you have students work on, if they're able to, if it's age appropriate, for them to find resources like videos that they might want to link to some of their work. So we'll have to see if the video option is available. I'm still working on that. But one thing that's in beta testing that I'm excited about, and I've applied for it, and we'll see if it comes through, is they have the ability to take YouTube videos and make ThingLink posts. So that's kind of fun. For a high school class, or even a middle school class, I was thinking the next one might be interesting for you. This is where a teacher has taken a poem, and they're working on figurative language. And so, it's going here.
You know nothing works when it's supposed to work.
I know. That's okay. I'll just go over the picture real quick. The neat thing about it, and you'll be able to navigate through this after I'm done talking, this poem on the right here has an image, and the students have embedded the ThingLinks on it. And when you click on the ThingLink on the icon, then the figurative language, the vocabulary word comes up, and then they give it their own definition. But then they write about it, and they reflect on using evidence from the text to support that. So I thought that was a really neat thing that might be useful for language arts or for English classes. Those are some project ideas. And I'll be putting up a lot more project ideas. I have more, but I got carried away playing with ThingLink, and I didn't get as many project ideas up. But this 27 interesting ways to use ThingLink is a slideshow that has a lot of information through this, you'll be able to maybe get an idea of something that you might want to do with your students. If you're trying to still think of projects to do with them, or you just want to have something on the back burner to be working on or preparing for. So there's lots of, and I'll be showing you some more ideas in a little bit. So that is under 27 interesting ways to use links. We also have an app available. So if you click on this icon, it'll take you to the App Store, and you can download the free ThingLink app. I've also put frequently asked questions. If you click on the top of the box, then it should take you to frequently asked questions about ThingLink. So anything that you might have a question about, you can see if they answer your question there. If it's not there, you can ask me, and then I'll ask Phil or Rashawn, and they'll know it. We also have visual steps to make a ThingLink. I'm a visual learner, so I love to see pictures of things. So if you click on this, then see the 27 interesting ideas on this page as well. And if I can scroll down, it gives you the steps for how to make a ThingLink. And really, it's super easy. Okay? There's also a ThingLink blog, and that has a really neat heritage project, and we're thinking about maybe doing a class for you all. If you all are interested in coming to a session and working hands-on to create a project, then that might be something you're interested in. And here's the button for you to create a free account. But I'm going to show you some samples here. So here they show you collages, and they have links, video, looks like another link. There's one for earth science. Let's see what they've got over here. Okay, it looks like they have something from like an encyclopedia, more for the vocabulary. This might be something that you would prepare for students, or you might have students prepare this, and it could be a differentiated kind of assignment where students are helping prepare things for other students that might not be in the class yet, that might be coming up next year, something like that. You can tell stories by images, you can tell these inbox, so let's see what that is. Okay, here's some information about the rainforest, in Amazon rainforest, an image. Oh, there's a poplet. I think there's another poplet here. Let's see what this looks like. So this is basically an image that has been linked to that picture. So basically you're adding layers of depth to the image, and this is what brings it to life. It makes it fun, it makes it interactive, this raises the bar, so to speak, for our students, and gets them involved in a way that sometimes they aren't so much involved when we're doing all the talking. Anyway, I hope this is giving you some great ideas.
Kristen, I just remember last year when we were doing the iPad trainings, when the teachers got their iPads, part of that training included a ThingLink. It was a picture of an iPad, and different parts of the iPad had ThingLinks on it. So like there maybe was a link over the volume, over the home button, for apps, for the home screen, and all the different parts. And if you hovered over those links, it told you what it was and what it did. So something teachers can use with their students, definitely.
Maybe I can put a link to that on here.
Yeah.
And finally, there is always Twitter. Twitter is an amazing professional development tool. If you haven't done it yet as a professional development tool, that might be something that we could help teach you about as well. But you can go ahead and follow on ThingLink _edu to find out more for what teachers are doing. Anytime it's about ThingLink, but if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to help you, and go ahead and take time to explore and look at the videos and see if that's something that you might want to do for a project. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the time back over to Bill.
Okay, great. Okay, we're going to move
featured teacher who's
Yeah.
amazing.
Featured teacher. I'm excited about this one. I gotta unmute her. I hope she's not nervous.
She better not be, because everybody is in the same situation, and we're just giving her an opportunity to speak about what she's doing, and she's doing great.
Right. Christina, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you perfect. Great. Guys, in case you didn't know, this is Christina. It's a nice picture of her. And she's very excited about getting her iPad tray, and we were excited to give her one. And a little bit about Christina. She is ESL teacher at Pinewood. Christina, how long have you been there?
I've been there about 10 years.
All right. And it sounds like you have some kids in your classroom.
Oh, no. Unfortunately, I chose to come to a restaurant.
Oh.
It was a bad decision.
That's okay. That's okay. We'll make it work. It's still, we can still hear you. You're good. The first thing we wanted to talk about with our teachers is really how you got started, and maybe some of your rules and things like that you came up with. So one of the first pictures that Kristen got is your iPad rules. So can you just go over this a little bit? Like, how'd you come up with these? How'd you go over them with the students? Things like that.
Well, I found them on a website and I just printed them out. But as far as going over the rules, we literally just step by step went through every single one of them, and then as we're going through and using them, if we find more that we need to add to, we're doing that. But I found it on a website. I just Googled iPad rules in the classroom and found it. So that made it pretty easy for me. Perfect.
And I do see one of your rules. I will only use apps and programs my teacher has instructed me to use. We have seen where kids will definitely try to log in with their Apple ID and load apps on there. So that's something that you guys will want to monitor. And of course, I like the no liquids and food around the iPad. You do not want to get the iPad wet, and you do not want to clean it with a liquid. Okay. We also got this picture, which I thought was a great idea. Can you tell us about your procedures?
Yes, so this was with my newcomers. That's who I started off with. So I did a kind of a quick lesson of initials, since there was such a confusion with last names. A lot of them have two last names.
Yeah.
But so we did that as an anchor chart of like what our initials would want to be, and I'll let them make sure they chose that. And then I just put a sticker with their initials right by their number, and then I reinforced it with just a big long piece of tape, and so they know exactly which iPad number they have, and it makes it really easy for them to take it back and forth.
Great. So guys, one thing you want to learn from this is you really want the students to be using the same iPad each time. And Christina, do all of your students use iPads, or only some groups?
Right now, it's mainly my newcomers, and then I also take the iPads. I go into the classroom and I take those iPads to them as well.
Cool.
So it's a little combination, but the newcomers are the ones that it's a one-to-one iPad assignment.
Great. And we have a picture, an arrow there to your lock. We just want to remind teachers that once you open the lock, you want to mix up the numbers, because we are having kids notice the combination. So the teacher will open it, and the combination is still there, so they could see it. And we've had kids go and open the lock when they weren't supposed to. So we want to avoid that at all costs. If you know that your students found out your combination, let us know, because we're gonna have to change your combination. So we went out to see Christina, and some of the apps that she's using is Erasma, which is an augmented reality app, and she's also using Book Creator. And we thought this was really cool. This is her bulletin board. So I'm going to let her kind of explain this whole process, and what was your goal here, and what can this board do? Why is it so cool?
Well, you can see here, those are my newcomers, and what I want to do, they were doing such a great job practicing with each other. It's the basic sentences for them to learn, how old they are, what grade they're in, their teacher. So we were practicing that in the classroom and how to say those things. So what I did when I asthma, I wanted everybody else to see what they were capable of. They were doing such an amazing job. So I video recorded each of them presenting exactly what's in the paper, and then I was able to use, to upload it with Erasmus. And then so when you go to the bulletin board in my hallway and you download the app and hover over the picture, it's a video of the children reading what's on the paper on the bulletin board. So it's been wonderful for parents. And we had parent night, and they came, and some of the parents, I caught them, they were watching the kids, and I let them borrow my iPad so they can watch the videos. And then the teachers were able to see the newcomers, because so many of the teachers assume they don't know how to say anything because of their nerves in the classroom.
Yeah.
So they saw that. They were kind of holding the kids accountable, saying, I saw your Erasmus, your video on Erasmus, and I know you can say these things. And they actually are starting to speak more in the classroom now that the teachers are aware of their abilities. So,
oh, that's great. That's what we want. And I do notice that in the middle there, underneath the map, she has her directions. So people that are walking by the bulletin board, if they follow those directions and they have the Erasmus app, they could scan those pictures and see their students. So I think it's really awesome. It's a great way to make a bulletin board interactive. Okay, very cool.
And I shared the directions with you guys. The only thing that I would change, I had a friend of mine do it on a phone, and I put on the directions Christina.Mahar public channel, or public auras, I think.
Uh-huh.
If you just put, if your name is, I would leave out, I would just put your name dot and your last name on the directions if y'all want to tweak it to make it your own. And she found it faster that way instead of typing up the whole public channel.
Oh, yeah, good idea.
So, yeah.
I have the directions up now. They're a little hard to read, but we can make that. We can get those to you guys if you are interested in using Erasmus. And again, there's the bulletin board. All her newcomers with you can see where they're from. I think that's a really great idea. Gets them writing, reading, speaking, and listening to each other. So it's a really great lesson right there. So when we were talking earlier about a poster session in March where we would love for you guys to show off your projects, Christina can basically just take this whole bulletin board and bring it with her. Like, her project could be done if she wanted to. Or she could have more than one project. But this is the kind of stuff that we really encourage you guys to do and try out for yourselves. Let's see what else we got here. And so there's Christina, and she's just scanning the target image, which is a picture of that student, and what pops up on her iPad is her video. Very cool. So Christina, how did the kids find this hard to do?
Oh no, they were actually helping me do it.
There you go.
It's amazing how fast they picked it up. They not only did they know how to do it, but they really loved it. I mean, they were so proud of themselves, and I think it gave them the confidence they needed, because I think once they realized everybody had a chance to watch them talk, they figured, well, we might as well say stuff anyway.
Yeah.
And, and other kids were saying, my teacher showed me they can talk, but it really was helpful to kind of open that door for them that they were really nervous about opening. So it worked out really well.
Yeah.
It had more benefits than I realized.
Okay, and now tell us about this picture here. Looks like you're scanning a book.
I am. Most of the day, I go into the classroom and I push in during readers' workshops. So several kids from other classrooms come into one room. And what I noticed was an issue was everybody's mini lesson finished like 1 or 2 minutes different. So when they were coming in, they kind of missed what I wanted them to do. So what I did with this particular project is I videotaped myself giving an additional mini lesson of what I wanted them to do for that day, so that when they walked in, they just grabbed an iPad, hovered over it, and watched the lesson, and then joined our group. So it allowed me to continue conferring with kids and working with them, and not having to stop and tell a kid every single time they was joining their group what to do. So, and they absolutely loved it. Yeah.
That's a really great idea. Kind of a blended learning, a flipped classroom almost, where they can just scan the book and they can go. They don't even need you anymore. See that?
Yeah. I feel like I could fund myself with Erasmus.
Yeah. And again, this is cool. So she's giving her students directions. because they're all coming in at the same time. That's just a great idea. Okay, we're done with these pictures. We're not done with you though. Looking back, since you've done great work, anything that kind of surprised you getting started, or was there any kind of hiccups that you faced when you were trying to get started?
Well, one of the things, I tried to look at the directions for Erasmus on YouTube because I was just anxious to start it and I wanted to know how to do it. And I noticed there were steps missing, so if anybody tries to do that, the best thing to do is get, either email me or Rashawn was the one who came out and helped me. There was one step I was missing to do it. So it might be something that you actually need one of us to help you with as opposed to trying to do it on your own.
Yeah.
That was the first problem because I guess they keep updating versions, so YouTube wasn't really the way to go.
Yeah.
But honestly, after I figured that out, it was a piece of cake. I mean, and I am not technology savvy at all. I mean, it took me forever just to join this webinar, so it doesn't. I don't want people to think that you have to know a lot about technology to do this. Once you know the steps, it's so easy to do with any project you have. And I'm actually teaching the other teachers to do the same thing. They have a writing celebration, and usually the kids all take turns and read their papers. So I'm getting them to do Erasmus as opposed so that the parents can kind of watch the kids saying it. And then one teacher's making her whole library. The covers are the auras, and the kids are able to hover over every single book in her library, and it's got a reading recommendation on it. So it's incredible.
You see what you started?
I know.
Well, speaking of other teachers, I want to pull something else up that you created. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this. And this is going to be kind of tough to see because it's very small font. But this is some apps that Christina's been using. And tell us about your Google Doc that you've created.
Well, it started with a lot of the teachers. There's so many newcomers this year, and they were asking me, I told them they can come to my room anytime they need if they have questions on how to help with their newcomers. And everybody said the same thing. I just don't know what to do during Reader's Workshop and Writer's Workshop. What am I supposed to do with them? So I created this template which gives them directions of a learning path. A lot of teachers are doing personalized learning this year. So the kids are able to choose between, well, they have to first go down, if you go to the Reader's Workshop learning path, they're able to go over some of the themed vocabulary and then do a book in English or Spanish and Raskin. And then when time is finished, they have, since it's an hour, they have time to choose an additional app to reinforce English skills. So it's kind of a visual for them to kind of see exactly what to do and not have to either sit there and do nothing. It's a great visual for them to at least have a little bit of comfort of knowing what to do next. And it's written in Spanish and English for those who can read in Spanish. Not all of my kids can, so I have the visual as well. But I did it for every single workshop time so that the teachers had something to go on the next day. But I made it a template so that the teachers can change it as they see fit. Like some of them put on the bottom, instead of an app, they put read with Miss Walters or read with your teacher. So it gives the kids like a really detailed directions visually.
That's great. That's awesome. You are doing amazing work. You're blowing us away. We know we don't want any other people to feel bad. Christina is going above and beyond right now with all this. We know some of you guys are still waiting to get your iPad trays set up by your Apple administrator. We know that. But we just want you guys to see what awesome work Christina's doing, and we hope you get some ideas from her. I mean, she's doing great work in her classroom, but she's changing the culture in her school by sharing this with teachers. They want to do Erasmus. They want to see this resource. So it started with her, and it's going to grow and grow throughout the school, which I think is great. We talked about changing the culture during our iPad tray launch, and it looks like Christina's on her way. So that's great. We're so proud of you, and thank you for being brave enough to come on here and talk to us today.
So thank you guys for getting us these iPads. We wouldn't be able to do any of this without you, so thank you.
No problem. You earned it.
Okay, so we gave you a couple videos to preview and watch before our session today, and we thank you for doing that. I think it takes a few times for me to learn something new, same as with our students, and so we really wanted to introduce this SAMR model to you all. It can be deep, but it also can be simple, and so hopefully by the time we finish talking today, it will feel more simple to you and more understandable if any of you had trouble getting through the videos prior to our webinar. So I want to show you this video where the students are explaining the SAMR model.
Okay, we all know that using technology in school can help students learn. But how could our teachers reflect on how effectively they're using technology?
Well, that's what this model is for, the SAMR model. It's kind of like a Bloom's taxonomy for educators.
It was created by this guy, Dr. Ruben Puentedora, who believes that using technology allows us to think differently and perform new tasks.
After all, if we have today's technology, then why teach like we did 20 years ago?
There's 4 different levels and 2 different sections in SAMR.
Let's take a look at the first level, substitution.
This is where the technology used acts as a direct substitute. Let's take the task of persuasive essay writing. I could write an essay by hand, or I could type an essay using the basic features of a word processing program.
The task is the same, and there's no functional change. The technology is being used as a substitute.
Lots of teachers start out at this level, but don't worry. Because substitution is not a bad thing,
Even the best teachers visit this level from time to time.
the next level is called augmentation. This is where the task is still the same, but the tech allows for some sort of functional improvement. So instead of writing our persuasive essay on paper, we could use a program like Google Docs.
With this software, the task is still the same, but the unique features of a collaborative document provide some functional improvement.
In both these levels, the technology is used to simply enhance a lesson. This technology may make tasks more efficient, but it's not likely to make a big difference in future outcomes. Most learning takes place above the line, and it starts with modification.
Here, the technology is used to provide a significant task redesign.
So instead of simply writing an essay, a student could publish a WordPress blog using text, embedded videos, pictures, and other web links to convey their argument. The audience is no longer just the teacher either.
It's the entire world.
People from anywhere with an internet connection could review or comment on their writing, allowing for deeper analysis.
The final level and the ultimate goal of technology integration is redefinition.
Here, the technology allows for the creation of new tasks that were previously inconceivable. Instead of writing that essay, students could now create and publish a digital storytelling project to argue their writing with multimedia.
Plus, just like the blog, through publishing this movie to the world, it allows for other people to comment and analyze their message.
So the heart of the assignment is still the same, but the technology allows them to engage in a new, more involved task that's otherwise not possible.
At these levels, learning is transformed through the use of technology. When we are more engaged and involved, significant improvements in learning are more likely to take place.
Different people have different ideas about SAMR. Some think that SAMR is like a ladder that you climb. You start at substitution and work your way up to redefinition.
Others think each level is like a swimming pool that you swim in or visit from time to time throughout the school year, and that's okay.
Because no matter the interpretation, the real power of the framework is that it promotes reflective teaching in the classroom. What you do, why you do it, and how it helps learning.
By thinking about the different levels, teachers can focus on designing digital learning experiences that will help improve student outcomes.
See, the thing about SAMR is this. It's not the type of tech tool that defines the level. It's how the individual teacher uses it in their lesson.
So whether you're substituting or redefining learning,
Remember, the ultimate outcome for integrating technology should be simple: maximizing student success. Want more information on SAMR? Check out these links.
Hey. So I hope you enjoyed that little video. I know I sure did. Marshawn just went to an iPad conference and she sent me this video and I was blown away because it was so simple in its explanation. And I thought that was really neat because this model framework that was created is something that we really want to have as kind of our foundation as we go forward with technology. Not just the iPads, it's not like what they said, it's not just your technology, it's not just your iPads, it's not just if you use Rosetta Stone or other tech resources. It's really about transforming learning experiences for our students. And I think that Christina's examples show that. And I look back on some of the things that I did when I was teaching with my technology, and I think, oh, well, that fit right into the first level. And I thought, wow, I was so technologically savvy. And at that point I was, and that was the point I needed to be. So it's okay, as long as you start using technology and think about this SAMR model or framework, then you'll be able to assess and evaluate the technology that you use in your classroom with your students. And you'll be able to kind of raise the bar, so to speak. So I want to go into this infographic that I found all about SAMR. And I love how it's really visual, and it does have, of course, theme links. So they start here with SAMR smashed with Bloom's taxonomy. And so it shows the first level, which is substitution, and how that correlates with Bloom's remembering and understanding levels. And as you move up to augmentation, you also move up the Bloom's taxonomy scale. So the ultimate goal is this redefinition level, which really focuses on evaluating and creating. And you might find this year as you work, you'll start with substitution, and you'll do augmentation, and you might even do modification. And maybe you don't get higher than that, but that's okay, because it's not about the level you are at, it's about how you're growing. So maybe next time you'll take something that you had modified and then reorganize it and change it a little bit, and maybe next year that will become a redefinition level sample. So I want to go down this for you. I really love how the authors of this have put this whole thing together. They've given you sample verbs, which would be used at the substitution level. This is great when we're making our objectives. They also give you sample activities and products. And they highlight apps that you could use for the projects. Some of these are really small, so you might not be able to see them very well. One thing I noticed was ThingLink can be listed in all 4 levels. So it really just depends on what you're doing with the technology. So it's not the fact you have iPads, but it's what you're doing with them. Let's go down a little bit. Augmentation. So here's the verbs: demonstrate, interview. Okay, so you're getting more, you're adding something in. The augmentation level is not just substituting writing on an iPad or reading on an iPad, but maybe you're integrating something like a spell checker or a grammar checker or something like that. Maybe an online dictionary in a project that the students are doing online. Okay, there's the link that we had. Let's see. Oh, there's a Twitter link. I love that. There's so many ideas in here. I haven't gotten a chance to look at everything, but you'll be able to do that later. Then as you modify, again, the verbs changed. They're getting a little more complex, a little higher order thinking, which is what we would expect because you're moving up the Bloom's taxonomy scale as well. But in this case, you're not just substituting something or augmenting something that you're using technology with, but you're really modifying it. You're making a significant redesign to the task. So you're going to be using the technology more effectively, not to do the same task, but you're using different tools with modifications of the task so that the student's learning is going to be transformed. So maybe on this one it would be students would be using Google Docs or something with the comments to collaborate and then share feedback on their given task. Maybe they're creating an iMovie with a commentary to support or defend their argument or position that they're talking about in class. And then they can share it with others. Let's read the definition. Here they're evaluating and creating. And this one, I think the key to understanding this one is that what they do is really something that they could not do or would not have been conceivable prior to them having technology. So this is something that they could not do without the technology. And it's reaching across the school, the district, the world to get students creating and collaborating with each other. And this is kind of exciting. I know last year we did a project with Providence High School, and we did a Zoom conference, and that was really neat. But that really was not the top level, even though we went all the way across the world. If the students had written something about it and then published it, and then there was more feedback in that way, then that would have raised the level of it more to the redefinition level. Okay. So anyway, I encourage you to see there's Erasmus there. There's all kinds of good stuff down here. Take a look at some of these things. Toontastic. There's our ThingLink. This Susan Oxnevad, she's phenomenal with ThingLink. And I think she's the one who does the ThingLink blog. TouchCast. We'll be focusing on some different apps that you can use in the classroom throughout the year and throughout, we'll put them in our newsletter too. But you all get the first glimpse of all of these things that we're doing. So that's kind of a perk that you get for being the iPad tray recipients. Okay, the last thing that I wanted to mention was this concept of app smashing. And app smashing is pretty neat. The idea behind app smashing is right here. Creating content in one app, but then enhancing it in a second or a third. So you're not just using one app to create something, you're blending, you're layering it. And I had an example of this that a student taught me. We had just started using EduCreations. And then my student, he used Sketch with EduCreations. I was like, what are you doing? And he taught me, and he taught the whole class how to app smash. And I had no idea we were even app smashing. So what it did was the Sketch was able to create better lettering, more professional looking lettering, and he added that to his EduCreation quiz that he was creating, and the students were creating these quizzes for each other. So maybe that's something that we can show you as an example in a webinar to come. I know we have a video of some of them working that we were going to share, but we knew we wouldn't have time today. But that's something that I just want to give you a little preview for maybe another time. And again, here we go. Here's some things you might want to start following on Twitter. If you're going to do some PD, this is like PD anywhere that you want to be, because Twitter goes with you on your phone. So here are some hashtags to follow if you want to find out more about that. So anyway, this is just an example of scammers, and I hope that I've helped kind of clear it up for you a little bit. It's not a new framework. It's been around for a while. This Dr. Ruben Puentedura, he works with Maine, the state of Maine, and he also works with Sweden, and he's really trying to help teachers change the culture of the classroom. And I think that's kind of been our goal this year, is we're changing the culture. And I'm I'm just so pleased to see all of what you're doing out in the schools, and I'm hearing about it, and it's just amazing what's going on. And I'm so excited to see what you all create. And I know that when we have our March session and you're doing your poster sessions, people are just going to be blown away, because we hear it all the time that ESL teachers are amazing with their technology in the classroom, but when they see what you're able to do with these iPad trays, you're going to be a model that everyone's going to be looking at in the district. And so I'm so excited to be able to support you in that, and I know the rest of my team is too. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Bill and Mershawn.
I just wanted to add something real quick, Bill, about the Sabre model.
Yep.
When I got the honor of going to an iPad conference, and I'm excited to share the things that I've learned with all the iPad recipients and my team. But I also want to say that I really had not heard about that model prior to going, and I was just a little bit hesitant, because when you watch some of the videos that were in the Google Classroom, it was a little bit deep. And I told myself that I trusted Kristen, and I just have to say, Kristen, that I heard that model being mentioned everywhere, all over that conference, and I'm excited that the teachers are hearing that model, because it's kind of like a pedagogy to put behind this work. And I just want you all to know that as you're sharing this with your schools and with your teachers, that they may have never heard of it, and I just think it's really exciting. I want to thank her for bringing this into this discussion.
Yeah, and I think it's important, because it can, I feel like when you learn about new terminology, a new acronym, and you see all these new apps that you don't know about, it can get overwhelming. So I think the goal is to know that there are different levels of integration of technology in your classroom. We want to move past that substitution level, right? And just pick a few of those apps to explore and try to incorporate into your lessons. You don't have to try to do everything. I think Mershawn's the only one that can do every single app, I think. So.
No. But substitution has its place in the classroom, and it's cool to see that substitution is part of the paradigm. It's
right.
It's a place that we go to. It's a place that we have to, a concrete place, but the redefinition is really where we want to live with our students. It's amazing what we can do.
Right, definitely. Cool. Thanks, Kristen.
Good job.
We're getting near the end here, guys, and this is the part where we want to hear a little bit from you. If you guys have any project ideas that you're thinking about and you would like to share, we would love to hear them. I cannot unmute everybody because that would be chaos. So if you have a project idea that you would like to share with us, just raise your hand. I'll unmute you. You could share with the group, and then when you're done, I'll mute you again. Hopefully we can get a couple of you guys to be brave enough and share with us, just to get your brain working here a little bit. We saw what Christina did with her Erasmus bulletin board. That'd be a great idea for a project. She's also sharing apps with her teachers. Okay, that could even be a project in a way. Kristen talked about app smashing when she was a teacher. She had multiple projects where she combined apps and created iMovies to show, to kind of put it all together. Mershawn had a completely interactive classroom where you can pretty much scan anything on her walls and an Erasmus video would pop up, or even a lot of her textbooks. You could be reading a story, and she would have trigger images in that story. So I knew to scan them with my iPad, and all of a sudden it might be a video of a student making a personal connection to that story. So I actually found it kind of fun to go through some of Mershawn's books, and I would just be scanning every page just to see what would pop up next. It made the book a lot more fun for me. So if we can get any brave souls out there All you gotta do is raise your hand, and you can feel free to share your project ideas with us.
And it doesn't have to be project ideas. It can be a question.
Yeah, we can also take questions now. If you have any questions, you could type it in the box, or again, raise your hand.
I know that I see someone asking about the Erasmus project directions. Were we going to post those on the Google Classroom?
Yes, we will. Because I know I have Christina's directions that I can post, and then I know, Marshawn, you also have some detailed directions, so we can put up several samples of Erasmus instructions. I know I had some, Christina's, and then Marshawn's, so we'll get that up there for you all, and you can kind of see which one helps you the most. I think a good goal is once you learn about a new app or something that you have an idea about, make yourself a goal that a month from now or by the next webinar or maybe right before the next webinar, you have something done, something concrete, showing what, something you can display. That's what I used to do. I'd learn one new thing and then I would try it. And I might try it in 4 different ways, and then I would find which way worked best with my students, and then I would have something. And then by the end, I would take my ideas and projects, and then I would put them all together in an iMovie to kind of chronicle our journey with the iPads. So that might be something that you might want to try.
I want to say that I agree about the chronicling on the iMovie. That's a great way to kind of show all the different apps and ideas that the students are creating. And anytime you are working with iPads, just capture them. I know Montclair is doing a great job of taking pictures of their students using iPads and using different apps that will be great photographs for them to put into an iMovie in March when they are trying to share what they've done. Some teachers have actually asked for us to come out and teach with them. And I mean, I just today made an iMovie and emailed it to some of you that you were having a little glitch with an app, and I made a little movie and sent that out. So if you ask for the help, we want to give it.
Yeah, and especially if you're just getting started, and day one, sometimes that's the hardest place. That's the hardest lesson, is just getting started. So we'll be happy to come out, and we can either co-teach with you, or maybe you just need some ideas on what to do with the students on day one. We can do that also. That's fine. We want to be there 100% for you guys. If we need to come out, we will. If you just want to contact us through the Google Classroom, the Wix website, or our email, or you can contact us through our help desk day. We're trying to set aside time for you guys, because we really want all of you to be successful, and we picked you for a reason. So don't be afraid to ask. There's no bad questions.
We don't have anybody raising their hand.
We have nobody raising their hand. I heard one school that wanted to do a project. I don't know if it was Puppet Pals or Sock Puppets.
Nations Forward.
I think it was Nations Forward. I think you're right.
Faye Turner out there.
And I thought that was, and I heard that through instructional technology that they might do that, and I thought that was a great idea. Okay, we want those kids speaking, listening, writing out dialogue. I think that's a great idea. So that would be a good example of a project.
If you would like us to come out to your school to help video and document when you're doing these projects, we would love to do that too. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, Kristen, those photographs you made of Christina Mahar are awesome.
Right, and we are always looking for our next featured teacher, which would look very good on your evaluation. Just saying. So that's something to think about.
I also want to mention that the iTunes University course that our team created and shared with you on the launch, we have 68 people who have downloaded that class, and I have been uploading apps that my team finds, and I'm going to be putting a lot more apps on there from the conference that I got to go to, and there is a part on there that is called digital projects. So if you're looking for an idea, I know Faye Turner said she opens up that course when she's planning, and it helps her kind of come up with some ideas she might not have thought of.
I'd like again to thank Christina. You're awesome. Keep up the good work. Again, email us or call us if you guys need any help. And thank you guys so much for attending the webinar tonight. If you have coworkers that wanted to be on here and couldn't join, I did record this. I'm gonna have to make some edits, but besides that, we'll post it probably in the Google Classroom if we can, and they'll be able to watch it. So thank you guys for attending. You only have one more day of school, which is great. I hope everyone has a good holiday. Don't do a lot of work. I hope you relax, eat a lot of food, and come back after the holiday nice and refreshed. Thank you guys.